day and a half longer to get this concrete out, obviously, because that was a lot of concrete. But anyways, just to show you how time-consuming concrete is to pull out. We literally just started bringing gravel in from the parking lot. The last maybe hour and a bit yesterday. Fine-tuning it now, but we got, oh my goodness, we got most of our gravel in. I'm gonna help these guys flatten this stuff out, and then I'll take you out and I'll show you exactly how we grade the
Alright, we have some grading action here. This area was just packed, and we're going to show you how we do some grading here. As you see, we set up strings with our final grade right there with the step, and our brick is about 2.25, 2.5ish, so we want to be about 2.25 with the gravel. So when she packs down, we have room for stone dust. And yeah, got the transit set up over here. Set that bad boy, grade mark, see if you're sloping, set your strings up, and yeah, pretty self-explanatory. You know what's going on, please.
Okay guys, so that's me in the 303 mini excavator. We got Mark, there's JT walking on by. We're all grading here. You can't do this with just a machine to have it done properly for interlock and brick. You gotta fine tune this with all the string lines we have set up to the proper heights according to the thickness of the brick that you are using. And it's also very important when your access is limited like ours. We started at the far end, and we are working our way out towards the articulated loader you see in the background and behind Mark right now. Now, you could start. I could start on the other side, but then I can't access that area from the street. Anyways, so it's pretty important to work your way out from your furthest point to your access point. Anyways, we're gonna keep on grading here, and you guys just enjoy the video.
got no water, so we got a dry packet, but that's all right. Not the first time. You don't get 100% compaction, but you do get pretty damn close when you run that thing over for hours. So I don't know how JT explained things to you, but we set up stakes. Obviously we shoot grades to make sure everything's sloping. That area had to bring up a bit. We usually compact it twice. As you can see, right near JT, it's already been packed, and we're just kind of topping her up a little bit. So we run our string lines, and then obviously we want to make sure we have enough room for our brick and just a little bit of stone dust. We use anywhere from like 1/4 inch up to like 3/4 of an inch. You can use a full inch, but I mean we really don't use that amount. It is a 60 millimeter paver we're using here. So you want to make sure you're going to be able to get that underneath. So you got to set up strings quite a few places. Otherwise you end up with high spots and you hit gravel, and that's just not fun to deal with. So that's how we prep the area. Some spots here we have probably 10 inches. I think the least amount we have is probably 8 because of the thickness of the concrete that was here. Now when you run into concrete that thick, some people will say, yeah, oh, at least you don't have to dig it out. But I mean, I could dig it out 3 times faster than this concrete comes out. Took us 3 days to get the concrete out. In this area, it's about 2,500 square feet. And if it wasn't, you know, 8 inches to a foot thick, it would have been a whole lot less. We'd have been had it out in a day and a half. But it is what it is, right? There's a few questionable things the masonry guys did. I'm assuming it was this year or last year because the parging looks pretty fresh. See this over here. So that's the parging. I mean, it's fairly fresh. Now, it's that thick, and you do not parge that thick. Anyways, they went right over the existing concrete walkways, and I mean, we tried to get out what we could without damaging it. I'm amazed that part we were able to save. They will have to get some parging redone. There's nothing I can do about that. We did saw cut along here, and then use the jackhammer. The main reason it was hard to get out is because it's a pocket. We have that, and that. So this area is it's a hole. So it's a real pain in the butt to get out. Anyways, Mark's just taking down the strings as best he can. You notice he's got ear protection on. Always wear your ear protection when you're packing, especially when you're packing sand and brick. Now, this is the only access for the front, so we did have to make sure that they had access. We took that pad out last because everyone was going up those set of stairs. We got them coned off here. The whole area is fenced off. We left this one open during the day so people can go up and down now. That's their new temporarily in and out. So we're gonna start the brick on that side, get that area all buttoned up, and then we can open that little area and fence off the rest and finish her off. Anyways, stay with us. We're getting her. Finishing up the brickwork in the front here. How many pallets have I put down so far? I'm gonna have to have a look at that. I think we're pretty close to 40 now. And you're about 127 square feet per pallet. We've had very minimal cutting. There's a little phone somewhere around here. Alright, so far, 127 times 40 equals. So far we've put down about 5,080 square feet of brick, and we haven't even been here for 3 weeks yet. We did all the walkways,
in there. I should probably watch where I'm going there. And I did all the walkways up there where people are walking their doggies. And I did all those. Then removed concrete, of course. We did this one right here. And now we're finishing up the front. It's a good sized project, not too bad. It's not a crazy size, but I certainly have done a whole lot bigger, but I gotta get out and help empty the stuff. So this is how we screed. Mark's got her all set up. We got our height here at the step, this flat area. All right, Marky.
Yeah.
So we got the proper height of the step. It's pretty close to matching the height of those steps. We got as close as we can. We're a little bit higher up because we want to kind of hide how they had the sidewalk kind of tied into it, which was a little ridiculous because these steps are actually structured and the sidewalk is not. So you never ever touch the two. Yeah. So anyways, normally we would set up a string going through here, but we have our 8-foot boards and we're short a foot. And Mark and I have been doing this our entire adult lives, so won't be a problem just to get the sucker free screeded, isn't that right, Marky?
Yeah.
Hells yeah. Yeah. And pretty important as well. You can see our base is like right there. We're pretty much at our max for our stone dust. You don't want to use more than an inch. We had to bring this up a little bit just to hide this nonsense. I mean, I don't know why they had this tied in to a sidewalk, especially when we have a 4-foot frost line here. These sidewalks were moving all over the place, and eventually it was going to take these stairs with it. So yeah, we're going to get some screeding done and get the rest of our brick done. It's looking good, looking good. Looking messy, but it's looking good, eh, Shane?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
It takes a bit of a mess before you get it right.
A mess is progress.
Yeah.
That's right. So that's the end of this area. Got our fence down, everything opened up. We've been given the go-ahead. Just gonna end up doing a little bit of seeding where you see all the topsoil. Looks pretty good. It was a little difficult, these little pocket areas, this one and that one right over there. It was hard getting proper pitch. Anyways, so all we got left to do is a little bit of seed. We have a little walkway we got to do over there, which isn't much of anything, but we got it all opened up, ready to roll. Looks pretty good. Sorry about the sun there, guys. She's a little bright. A little bright. Let's do a walk around, boys. Mark's doing his paperwork. We'll go this way. Walk around a whole city block here. Mark fixed this little area this morning. It's kind of a tricky little, well, this afternoon, kind of a tricky spot. There's nothing but puddling going on there and ice, and yeah, they didn't do the greatest job grading that. Anyways, we got her fixed. Water will drain out of there now. Something they asked us to do. We don't mind. We're done here today anyway. So yeah, this is where we started. I would have literally just squared that off, but I didn't want to waste any square footage. It was not part of the deal. I lied. This has been bugging the crap out of us, and it looks weird, so we're just gonna square this up. Let's get her done. There we go. A little dusty from the polymeric sand, but I feel better about it now that it's squared up. Looks better. All right, so we did all these walkways. Put that one in. There was another one that ran right off here over there. We removed that completely. We'll be back to seed this next year, because it's going to be under a foot of snow there in a couple weeks probably. There was another walkway right there we ripped out, and we actually just moved it. This one's brand new. There was no walkway here before. Obviously, we did this. There's no eaves trough on that little roof, so it's a little dirty, but that's what happens. That is what happens. Got the whole neighborhood around here walking their dogs. Dogs pooping everywhere and footprints in the topsoil. Even people. Would you be walking on topsoil?
No.
Hell no. Neither would I. Especially when there's walkways right there. A little silly. And this brings us to the front, the nightmare of this project. Even this little walkway, that was pretty thick cement there too. I know the pad up by the door was a foot thick, a little excessive if you ask me. And in here, there was I'd say about 8 inches to a foot thick of concrete in here. Now, this was cut like this. I don't know why they cut the city walkway. They must have damaged it when they redid walkways. Yeah. So yeah, this was definitely the nightmare area, grade wise, everything like that. We have pictures of this little thing before we even started. We always take pictures of any damage we see, so we're not held accountable for it before we even start. Yeah, see people walking through there. My goodness. Pure laziness. Looks pretty good. They wanted to leave that pad. I'm all right with that. And that brings us all the way over to the last little piece that we started yesterday. Burr, it's freaking cold out, eh? Yeah, it's still below zero for sure. Well below zero, I think. So it brings us over to this. Now, originally, they wanted to remove any steps from there and just slope it straight down here. I didn't think that was a good idea. We actually ended up putting 2 steps in there. Brought that first step going into the door up to code, because it was probably a foot-ish. And then 2 6-inch steps coming down onto this. And we ended up putting another step here, because it would have been quite the pitch to come from the bottom of that step straight down to the city sidewalk. So yeah, I mean, it still has a hell of a slope on her, as you can tell, but nowhere near as much as what it would have been. Anyways, that's the last of her. It was the last of this little project. Well, not the little project. I think we're just south of 5,000 square feet total on this one. It's a fair bit of brick. Nothing we're not used to though. I think the biggest one we ever did was 2008. It was 30,000 square feet. Remember the one with all the lindens on Oak Street? That was quite the project. That was 2+ months, 10 guys working, and then we had to finish her off there the following spring. Yeah, that was for our old employer. He was a great guy to work for. God rest his soul. Anyways, that's the end of this one, boys. Which one of you lucky fellers is shutting her down?
We got the like, comment, subscribe.